Hello, everyone. My name is Technolith, and I want to welcome all of you to my guide on how to install Dark Lady Lexy's Legacy of the Dragonborn Skyrim Modding Guide. I have done modding for Skyrim for many, many years, and I've done it all. I've gone out on my own and just compiled a list of mods and installed them randomly. I have used other guides as well, and I can tell you that in my experience, this guide is the best guide to use if you want a stable version of Skyrim that looks beautiful, that is fun to play, and that will last for a long time. So in this video series, we're going to be installing the mod list here using the guide that she has created. So in this first video, we're going to go over some introductory information. We're going to look at what is the guide and some rules and things to know before you actually start working it. And then we're going to go through and install all the different mods that this guide contains. It contains over 1,500 mods as of right now. The version that we'll be using is the version that's live as of October 5th, 2024. One of the nice things about this mod is that it's constantly changing, constantly updating. And so there's always new mods being added to the list, being changed, tweaked, updated, and there's a great guide at the end on how to update your install with the latest changes to the guide. So to install this guide, the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go to the website, which is Lexy's, LOTD.com, and you'll come to this page here. So let's start by taking a look at the introduction page here. So this is the Lexy's Legacy, the Dragonborn Special Edition version of the guide. It's constantly being maintained and in a state of flux, usually updated about once a month. And some of these updates can be smaller and some of them can be bigger. The nice thing is that this October 5th update was a pretty big update and made a lot of changes, so we should see kind of smaller changes for the next few months. The important thing here is a warning, okay? So installing this guide has been known to cause severe intestinal discomfort, brain hemorrhages, broken bones, loss of family and proper diet, malnutrition, death, PC malfunctions, broken monitors, stupid questions, death, and anal leakage. Do not mod if you're pregnant or intend to be. To minimize the risks of drink spillage, do not mod while drinking. Stop modding if you are allergic to mods. And inform your help desk minion if any other side effects persist. This guide is known to the state of California as a possible cause of cancer. So keep those things in mind. Those of you who have done modding before, you'll know that modding Skyrim can be an addiction. I may or may not have spent more time modding Skyrim than I have playing Skyrim. And if you look at my Skyrim Steam page, I have 1,628 hours played in Skyrim. So you can imagine how much time I've spent modding Skyrim. All right, so the guide in a nutshell. This guide has been in existence for well over a decade. It has over 1,400 different mods. Now, the core of this guide is a specific mod called Legacy of the Dragonborn. Okay. Now, this mod is a fantastic mod. It's an essential mod in my mod list since it first came out. And what it does is it puts a museum in Solitude where you can put on display all the things that you collect during your course of your playthrough. All of your armor, your weapons, all the different kinds of skills you've learned, the gods that you've discovered, the books you've collected. Everything is there for you to display and then walk through. So for those of you who love collecting things, this is a fantastic mod. It also has a storyline attached to it as well, which opens up more of the story behind the museum and gives you more space and more ways to interact with the museum. There are survival mods in this mod guide as well. Things like Frostfall and Campfire, so mechanics that allow for different survival elements. Enemies are overhauled as well. The combat system has been evolved with many different kinds of mods. Magic portions of the game have been changed as well, with Odin and Apocalypse. Alchemy and cooking have been changed and updated as well. And then the graphics are fantastic. There's a lot of graphic specific mods included in this to really update it for, as of the current year 2024, looking like a modern AAA game. In short, if it can be changed, it likely has been changed. One of the fantastic things about this guide is it really teaches you how to mod Skyrim in a stable way. I think that's the biggest struggle we all have when it comes to modding Skyrim, is getting a Skyrim that has all the mods we want, but that also runs stable and doesn't have constant crashes. So that's what this guide intends to do. Of course, we're going to be using Skyrim for this. So there are different versions of Skyrim. There's the Legacy Edition, which is the original 2011 release of the game. There's a Skyrim Special Edition. This is the gold standard, includes all the 3 DLCs. There's also an updated engine with 64-bit executable. And then there's the Skyrim Anniversary Edition, which includes some bug fixes, but was mostly released in order to bundle in some of the Creative Club DLCs. It's the same pretty much as Skyrim SE, but there is different aspects to this as well. All right. So if you bought the Anniversary Edition upgrade of the game, you can still use this guide, but we will not be using the additional DLCs in this guide. We have other mods that replace them in a much better and more effective way. So we will be disabling those, and we'll get into how to do that when we get to that part of the guide. Before you start, you should know what you're getting into. A full install of this guide is probably going to take several days. It also requires a lot of drive space. We're looking at over 180 gigabytes of additional data downloaded, generated, manipulated. I'll tell you it's even more than that because you have the download files plus you have the install files. So I would recommend having a minimum of 500 gigabytes free. I have about 1.5 terabytes free for this, and I'll probably be using a good portion of that during this install guide. It's going to require several sessions to install from scratch. Don't think you're going to be able to just do this in a couple of hours. I'm going to be right here with you as we walk through and install every single mod in this guide, but that also means that this video is going to take a while to make and complete. There's a lot of programs we're going to be using. We're going to be using Mod Organizer 2, Cathedral Assets Optimizer, or COW, Loot, Nemesis, the Creation Kit, xEdit, Zmerge, Rybash, xEdit, LoadGen, xLoadGen, Dyn2Load, and Synthesis. It's important that we read everything. I can tell you that even I still make sure that I read every line, even though I've installed this guide more than once, because the instructions are incredibly specific and they're very important as well. It is possible to use this guide as a base and then make adjustments and install additional things. You can absolutely do that. I will most likely make a video at the end of this series showing you how to overlay on top of this guide if you want to install additional things. Just know that if you do depart from the guide at any point, then the support systems that are in place to help you are a little bit different. There is a Discord community that you can join, and I recommend that you do so. And there's a lot of support on how to install the guide. If you ever choose to go off guide, there is other sections of the Discord that you have to post to for any kind of support. And that support isn't guaranteed because we're going off guide, off the rails. And sometimes mods can interact in weird or strange ways. All right. And then this section talks about what Lexy's computer uses. Even fully modded, Skyrim does not require a massive computer in order to run. I am currently running this modded version of Skyrim on a Razer Blade 16, so a laptop, and pretty much any normal gaming computer is going to be able to run this version of Skyrim. All right, so let's go to the next page. This was the welcome, so let's head to the guide. Okay, so the first page of the guide itself is going to be some common task instructions. We're going to go through these instructions, but we're going to also be referring back to these instructions as well once we start getting into the guide itself, because for a lot of you, this will be things that we've never done before, and it's important that we do them correctly. So don't think that you have to learn it right now. This is a reference page that we can always refer back to. The first thing here is that this guide is intended to be installed for the English language. If you use versions of Skyrim that do not use the English language, then this guide is not for you. And this just has to do with simply the fact that Lexy does not have anyone on her team who speaks a different language sufficiently enough to be able to customize the mod patches that she creates in order to work with other languages as well. It's not a case of will not, but cannot. The other thing is that we do not and will not support software piracy in any form, including mod piracy. So this includes providing links to mod files that have been hidden, deleted, or otherwise completely removed from the mod file sites. It should be noted that this does not include archive files on the Nexus. There is a legal way to obtain these files, as we'll see on this page, and it's not piracy. This was determined after a discussion with the Nexus staff members. Nexus is the site we use to download the majority of mods from. If you are on Lexy's Discord server and are found to be using a pirated game, operating system, or any other tool or file, you can expect to be banned from the server by the mods and admins. Illegal activity of any kind will not be encouraged or supported. It should also be noted the guide cannot properly be installed on a cracked or stolen game or system. Almost all pirates that have been caught on the server were caught because of this. Do not do it. I'll tell you that there's really no reason to pirate this game. When it goes on sale, Skyrim SE is like $5, literally. So there's no reason to not be able to pay $5 for the copy of Skyrim. Okay, so when we look at the list of mods, when we start installing them, there's going to be some tags that are used. Not all of them require any action on your part. Many of them are just for informational purposes, so that you can find a particular group of mods more quickly. Any action required during the install will be given when it needs to be performed. Do not go ahead. So as an example, many mods will have the loot tag. You do not need to adjust this mod's loot rules until you're directed to do so. So these are the lists of the different labels. So like this one uses body slide, cow, classic. It's a creation kit, resave. etc. And then if we go to one of the mod install pages, like say mod install part 2, we can see that we got some labels here, right? We have some tags on some of these things, and we'll use them in order to help us know exactly what to do with these different things. All right, go back to the common task instructions. So mod installation. So when installing the guide, a few things to keep in mind. Do not try to run the game to make sure the install is going well until you're directed to do so. A lot of these files require other files that you haven't yet installed. And if there is a problem at the end, then people on the server will be able to help you correct the errors or point where you need to go. Second, for your own sanity, do not run loot until you reach the finish line. So you look up here, you can see that we have common tasks, pre-install instructions, the mod install pages, the merge page, and then finally the finish line. That is where we will run loot. You'll see all kinds of errors on the loot UI screen, and you will completely lose your mind. So trust the process. And third, throughout the guide, you'll find several places where you're instructed to remove files from a mod. And a lot of times you'll see these file names with an asterisk in them. For example, helgenreborn.esp/*.tga. In such cases, that means deleting all the files that match that pattern. So basically all the TGA files in the helgenreborn.esp. And these instructions will be seen in the special instructions tag that'll look like that. Depending on the type of file you're downloading, you may treat them differently and how they're installed in Mod Organizer 2. There are some instructions on how to handle these things. Once you've installed a mod, activate the mod and its files in Mod Organizer 2. Future installs of other mods may rely on that mod being active in both panes of Mod Organizer 2. For a file designated as a main file, install as normal. If the mod page has multiple main files, install them as a separate mod. Do not merge them together unless instructed to do so. And this allows you to update each file independently instead of having to download everything all over again. If there's a file designated as an update file, these files should be installed into the same mod listing as its parent mod. This can be done by telling Mod Organizer 2 to merge the files, which will tell Mod Organizer 2 to overwrite the original versions with the update, which is exactly what you want to have happen. And then for files designated as optional, miscellaneous, or old, they should be installed as a separate mod. Do not overwrite the original mod files. Okay, and we will, again, revisit those instructions when we start installing mods. Some mods, when you install them, have what's called a faux mod, which is basically, it gives you a dialog tree to select different options of what exactly you want installed within the mod. And there are photos within this guide that show you what selections to make. Those are gradually being converted over to text-based instead of screenshot-based. So we're going to see a mix of both when we go through this guide. So for Nexus archive files, so we're not going to get too deep into this, but basically sometimes mods are they are archived on Nexus, and this is the instructions on how to download the archive files. So we will look at this in more depth once we encounter our first archive mod that we need to download. There's a couple ways to do it though. You have the option of using the Discord bot, and the Discord bot on the Discord will give you the link to use, or you can use the manual method, which involves finding out the ID of the file and then changing the URL to that ID. And if it still doesn't work, search on Discord and beg and plead some of the help desk minions. Extracting BSA files. So BSA files, or Bethesda Softworks Archive files, it's a compression type, like a zip file that Skyrim uses to store assets. These might be texture files, sound files, scripts, or any other kind of similar assets. And more often than not, if a mod author packs their assets in a BSA, we leave it alone and let it operate like it was designed. But there are times when we want to extract the BSA files, and there's some specific reasons for that. And when we do that, we're going to be following these instructions using Mod Organizer 2 to extract the BSA files. So you can either use Mod Organizer 2. We will see extract the BSA when that happens. For mods you want extracted, select yes. Be careful not to turn off that prompt. For all other mods, select no. So unless it says extract the BSA, we're not going to extract the BSA. And then there's also a manual way to do it as well, but we will be using the normal auto magical way. Converting old plugins. Basically, there's some old mods that we'll be using as well. They use something called Form 33, Form 43 versus Form 44. These are for the Legacy edition of Skyrim. Basically, what we'll do is we'll open them up at the creation kit, and then we'll just click save, and it will save it under Form 44. And then we'll verify it with SKSE. Cathedral Assets Optimizer is something that optimizes a lot of your graphics files, and we'll be running a lot of our texture files through Cathedral Assets Optimizer in order to either upgrade or downgrade them. There's going to be some plugins we'll use that are custom made for this mod guide and in Cathedral Assets Optimizer, and we'll download those once we start installing some of these tools we need to use. And then these are the instructions on how to process things using Cathedral Assets Optimizer. And then finally, the Mod Organizer 2 removal tool. So one last common task that'll appear in the guide is running a mod through the Mod Organizer removal tool. And this tool simplifies removing files from mods. And then it gives instructions here on how to run that tool. Again, we'll revisit this once we actually have to do that process. All right, on to the next page, which is the pre-install instructions. All right, we're finally here. We are ready to get started with putting some stuff on our computers. So we are on the pre-installation instructions page, and right up at the top, here's a warning. Do not skip this page. Important setup steps are listed on this page that are vital to the proper installation of the guide. Even if you have done modded installs before, ensure you have followed all these directions. So some quick reminders before we get started. First of all, do not loot sort until directed. It's not going to sort the load order correctly until we've completed the install, and it's going to give you errors that are going to be fixed later on in the guide. Second of all, do not deviate from the guide's instructions. These instructions are gospel. Don't add or subtract from the guide. Even if there's some things you think wouldn't cause a problem, they will. And then number 3, for the Law of Talos, read the Nexus mod pages. A lot of bug reports that are given on the Discord are because people didn't read about what changes were happening in the mods. If you played unmodded Skyrim before and then you play this, if you don't know what changes are happening, you may just think that, oh, this is a bug. This is something we're definitely going to be doing as we go through these videos. We will be reviewing the Nexus mod pages so that we have an idea of what each mod does. And then we also want to make sure we remember to refer to the common tasks page for extract the BSA, creation kit resave, cow instructions, and mod installation advice. Keep in mind, we're going to be installing hundreds and hundreds of mods. And so we have to be very detailed with this if we want it to work out. Take breaks, walk away, go touch grass, sleep, whatever you need to do to be able to pay attention to every single word. And then, of course, you can always go back, rewind the video, and review if you need to see the instructions again. And with all of that out of the way, here we go. So we're going to start off with these general utilities. So these are going to be some programs we're going to be installing on our computers in order to help us with setting up the rest of this guide. And the very first one is 7-zip. So as with everything, we have a link to the download section. Over here, we have one of the little buttons that says what it is. In this case, it's a tool. We always want to read this description right here. So it says 7-zip is a free multi-format compression program capable of handling virtually any archive. So we will be using this to extract things as we go and install this guide. So we're going to want the version 23.01. So if I click on download, it'll take me to the 7-zip homepage. Now, here's a great illustration of following the guide. Notice right up at the top, it says download 7-zip 24.08. Well, that's not the version we want. We want 23.01. So I am not going to download this latest version, even though I don't think it would make a difference. I don't care. I'm going to download this version. So we want the 64-bit Windows x64. I've got it right here. Going to click download. It's going to download, and then I'm going to install the item. Now, right here, right, we're going to be installing a lot of programs for mod tools, and I want them to all go in the same location. So I'm actually going to click the three little buttons here. I'm going to go down to this PC, and then new volume D. And we're going to go to add a new folder. And I'm going to name this new folder Mod Tools. Click OK. So notice now it's going into section D, drive D, Mod Tools 7-zip. And I'll click install. Okay, and now it's installed. And now if I open up my D volume, right, I can see that I have the folder here for Mod Tools. And if I open that up, I've got 7-zip here, and I have the 7-zip program right here. All right. Good. Let's go back to the website. Gotta close this page down. What's next? .NET 8.0 SDK. So this is a free cross-platform open source developer platform for building many different types of application. This is required for synthesis and scrambled bugs to function properly. I want version 8.0.402. So we'll open this 8.0.402, and now it's currently downloading. It's 211 megabytes. So you can already see that we're downloading some pretty large files. So I'm going to let that download complete. And then when it's done, we'll open it up and install that tool as well. Let's take a look at this next one while we're at it. So we've got Microsoft Visual C++ redistributable for Visual Studio 2015, 2017, 2019, and 2022. Our previous download is done. Let's install it. Click install. Yes. And you may already have things like a .NET SDK already installed on your computer, but it's important to just go through this step again, reinstall this particular version so that we can ensure we're complying with the guide. And we're done. All right, close that out. Now this Microsoft Visual C++ redistributable, these libraries are required by many applications built by using Microsoft C and C++. This is required for Mod Organizer 2 and Loot to function properly. We have two files that we need to download, x64 and x86. So this is Visual C++ redistributable version. So we'll do x64. And x86. Okay, so we'll install the x64 version first. It's already installed, so I'm just going to click Repair and let it install it again. Okay, it says I need to restart my computer before I can use that software. I'm going to do that in a little bit. So click Close. Now I'm going to do the ARM64 download we did, which or the x86 rather. And I'll repair that one as well. All right, that one's done. It's also prompting me to restart, but again, I'll do that a little later. And now we have that done. So our next section is official Bethesda content. Before we install Skyrim, though, we're going to want to do some changes to some of the settings. So first of all, we're going to want to disable our Steam overlay because it can interfere with the mod pack when we're playing Skyrim. So to do that, there's one of two methods. The first method is to disable Steam overlay for everything. So to do that, we're going to open up the settings for Steam. And then here where it says in-game, up here at the top, enable the Steam overlay while in-game. You can disable that by just clicking here. I don't want to do that because I do like the Steam overlay when I play games. So instead, I'm going to open up Steam, click on the Skyrim Special Edition game, right-click on it, and click Properties. And then right here, it's going to give me the option to enable the Steam overlay while in-game for this particular game. And in this case, I'm going to disable it. All right, what do we need to do next? Update proofing Skyrim. So Bethesda regularly updates some of the base Skyrim files in support of their Creation Club content. This means that SKSE and a bunch of mods that use SKSE will no longer function. SKSE is a super essential mod that opens up the door to mod things that normally wouldn't be able to be modded. In order to prevent Steam from updating these files, it is required that you make the following selections. So in Steam, right-click on Skyrim, click on Properties, click on the Updates tab, and in the selection under Automatic Updates, select Only Update this game when I launch it, and close the window. So we'll do that now. So right-click, Properties, Updates, and it says always keep this game uploaded, but instead only update the game when I launch it. Despite the wording, no update to the game will occur unless you launch the game via Steam. Since we're going to be launching the game via Mod Organizer 2 and the SKSE launcher, no trigger event will happen, and your Skyrim install will remain in the same version as it currently is unless you force an update on yourself. And in the event that it does still update, it is possible to roll Skyrim back to an earlier version. There is an article linked here that you can go to for details on how to do that if that ever accidentally happens. So before we can start any modding, we need to set up Skyrim Special Edition. Now, I haven't actually downloaded Skyrim yet, so I should probably do that now. So I'm just going to click Install. I'm going to install to Volume D, and then click Install. Accept. And now it's downloading. I am going to give it a few minutes to download. We're going to skip ahead for when this is done. Okay, so Skyrim is now installed on my computer. Took a little longer than I was expecting, but we are back now. So if we go back to the guide, we have already done the Steam overlay and the update proofing of Skyrim, but now we need to finish up configuring Skyrim. So before we can do any modding, we need to set up Skyrim Special Edition, so we have a starting base configuration. Start the Elder Scrolls Skyrim through the Steam context menu to open up the default Skyrim Special Edition launcher. Click Options, click on Ultra, click Aspect Ratio and Resolution, and it should be set to your monitor's optimal resolution. Set anti-aliasing to off in the drop-down box. This is in preparation for the ENB install. Ensure the windowed mode is unchecked and click OK. All right, so I'm going to start Skyrim. Skyrim Special Edition will now detect your video hardware and set your video options accordingly. Okay, video settings have been set for ultra quality. Good. So now I click on Options, and it has the correct resolution for my screen. Anti-aliasing, we were going to set to off. We're going with Ultra for our video settings, and windowed mode is off. Let me double check. Aspect ratio and resolution, anti-aliasing, Windows mode unchecked. Okay, we're ready to click OK. And then exit. Perfect. All right. What's next? Now Skyrim is done, but now we need to install the creation kit. So the creation kit is the official Bethesda tool for creating and editing mods. It has been available in one form or another throughout the release of Fallout and the last several games. It is required if you're interested in working with mods. Beyond allowing users to build their own mods, the creation kit can tweak and change things throughout the mods and official content in ways not possible with other tools. Like with Skyrim, the creation kit doesn't ship with a pre-configured INI, and the default configuration generates when the tool runs for the first time. So while you won't be building new mods in this guide, you will be importing mods originally designed for Skyrim LE, and the creation kit will let you resave them to work. So we need to download and install the creation kit. So let's do that first. So here we have the creation kit. To find it, if you don't see it in your normal listing, then here, right? The drop-down menu up at the top, it shows games, but also software. You're going to want to check both because sometimes this won't be checked automatically and you won't see the creation kit. So make sure that's checked. And then we're going to retype in Skyrim. Creation kit install on volume D. Accept. It's only 77 megabytes, so it should only take a moment to install the program, and it is done. Then it said we need to start the creation kit via Steam, extract the scripts folder. Once the creation kit is loaded, exit the program. Okay. So we're going to launch. The editor needs to perform the following tasks as required administrative rights. Register flowchart control. Do you wish to allow this? Yes. Do you want to allow this from the unknown publisher? Yes. Unpack. Yes. Unpack the script zip. Yes. Okay, we're unpacking 16,000 items from scripts. We're 5% done, so it'll take just a couple minutes. All right, we're close to done now. 98%, 99, and 100. All right, so this is our creation kit for Skyrim. Loading up now. We have extracted all of the scripts. So at this point, we need to, once the creation kit is loaded, exit the program. All right, perfect. So we can exit out of that now that we've loaded it up. A few edits need to be made before you can use the creation kit to port mods. Download the pre-made creation kit custom.ini here. So just downloaded it now. Extract it to Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Skyrim Special Edition. All right. So downloads, creation kit custom. Cut that out. And we're going to go to my Steam library, Steam Apps, Common, Skyrim Special Edition. I'm going to pin this to quick access on the side so that I can more easily find this folder. I'm going to paste this folder in, and then I'm going to extract all. Cut. And paste it here. All right, let's get rid of that. Delete. All right. So we have the INI file in the Skyrim Special Edition main folder pasted in. The scripts archive is in the data folder, can remain in place after the scripts extraction is done during installation. They cause no harm, have no additional effect on the game itself or the creation kit, and can be safely ignored. We're going to ignore that. The custom INI file sets up the creation kit to allow multiple masters and properly load DLC content. All right, that's done. Next, we have the creation kit platform extended for Skyrim. Various patches and bug fixes for the creation kit SE to make life easier. A collection of modifications, enhancements, and reverse engineered resources for SSECK version 1.5 and 1.6. Special instructions, manually extract the mod and place in the main Skyrim Special Edition directly. Okay, so we're going to click the download button. Now, this is the first time we're downloading something from Nexus Mods. Something I want to tell you all is that when you go to Nexus and you start downloading things from Nexus, you're going to want to create an account. But in addition to that, I really recommend that you get a premium account. And the reason why is that premium accounts download much faster than regular accounts do. And you can pay by month. It's only about $5 a month. So if you were to pay $5 and then you can cancel your account afterwards, you get some very high download speeds. So you don't have to, but I definitely recommend that. So this is the Creation Kit platform extended for Skyrim. If we read through it real quick, various patches and bug fixes. Okay. All right. So we're not going to pay attention to any of this information because we're just following the guide, but I did want to know what it does. So there's only one file to download. We're going to manually download this file. So click manually download and download. And we just got it downloaded. And if we go back to our downloads, we're going to extract it here this time, actually. Okay, so this is all of that information. And we're going to take it, and it said to put it Manually extract the mod and place in the main Skyrim Special Edition directory. So let's go ahead and grab all these files, copy. There we go. All right, so we put the Creation Kit extender inside the main Skyrim Special Edition folder. All right, let's continue on. Our next section here is on the Windows page file. Basically, the guide and Skyrim, when it's modded, uses a lot of memory. It's very CPU intensive. We want to make sure that we have enough virtual memory within our computers in order to be able to run the program without Skyrim crashing. So to do that, it's pretty simple. The instructions are to press the Windows R key on your keyboard. And then you're going to type in sysdm.cpl space, comma, 3. And open that up. And then from here, you're going to click on the settings section under performance. And then from here, you're going to click advanced and then virtual memory change. Now on my section here, you'll notice that automatically manage paging file size for all drives is checked off. Yours will probably be checked on. You need to make sure to check that off. Okay. And then we want to make sure that our volumes are system managed. So if you have more than one drive, you might want to enable this setting for a drive that does not have MO2 or Skyrim. You're able to do that, but I have done that here with our C drive. Our D drive, however, is the one that's going to contain Mod Organizer 2 and does contain Skyrim. And you'll notice that that one is system managed. Once you click system managed size, make sure you click this set button. Otherwise, as soon as you close out, it'll forget that you selected that setting. So we have system managed. You're going to press OK. If you made any changes, you're going to press apply. Otherwise, hit OK. And then again, apply. Otherwise, hit OK. And that is the Windows page size. Pretty straightforward. So now we move on to some modding tools. So we have a lot of modding tools to install. It does say in the guide here to make a folder for all of your mod tools. We already have done so. Remember, we made this mod tools folder right here. So that's where we'll be installing all of our mod tools. The first mod tool that, oh, and by the way, make sure that wherever you are installing your mod tools, it is not installed in a UAC protected area. For example, desktop or program files. This is exactly why I have installed it into volume D instead of volume C. My Skyrim file, which is in the Steam library, as well as all my mod tools and my mods, everything will be installed on volume D. So I completely sidestepped that issue. If you do not have a volume D, then, for example, if you only have a volume C, then make sure that you create a folder in the base of your drive right here where you see program files, etc. And you're going to put your mod tools folder right there and install them onto that drive if you don't have two drives. All right, so we're going to install Loot. The Loot version we're going to be using is 23.1. Loot is a essential program used to sort the mods into a particular order. The reason why this is important is that mods are loaded in the order in which they are set up, and lower mods, or mods that are loaded later on in the list, overwrite earlier mods. So for example, if you have two mods that change the same texture file, the mod that's lower in the mod order is going to be the one that is used by the game because it overwrites the previous mod. And in order to ensure that we don't have a bunch of crashes or we have a lot of missing texture files, then we have to make sure it's sorted correctly. And we do that using Loot. So I'm going to click download. It's going to take us to the Nexus. Basically, this page will just tell you the exact same thing that I just told you, but we are going to go to the files. Now, there's one main file here, but in this case, this was updated yesterday, the 5th of October, 2024. I'm not going to use that one. Again, we're following this guide. So if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see 23.1. I'm going to download 23.1. I'm going to manually download it. And there it goes. It is currently downloading right now. It's downloading incredibly slowly for some reason. Wow, that is super slow. All right, so Loot is now downloaded. And I'm going to go ahead and install Loot now. Okay, we're going to install it in the New Volume D Mod Tools folder. Press OK. Next. Download and install the latest master list. Someone also create a desktop shortcut. Next. And we're going to launch Loot. Press OK. All right, here we go. So this is what Loot looks like. As we learn more about how to use Loot, when we get to those sections of the guide, I'll go over a little more detail what this stuff means. But if we go back to the list here, it basically says, for the first time loading, Loot will have no master list data or default mod groups. So we're going to shut down Mod Organizer 2 if open, which shouldn't even be installed because we haven't gotten to that part of the guide yet. We're going to run Loot. Once Loot's loaded, sort the load order by pressing the icon that says Sort Plugins. So right up here at the top, it says Sort Plugins. We're going to click that. Sorting load order. No changes to the load order. All right, good. If we previously installed Loot, we need to clear any old custom rules you may have added. So locate and click Game and then clear all user metadata. Yes. So up at the top here, Game, clear all user metadata. Click Yes. All right, done. And then we're going to create some groups. So the Loot comes with some groups already made, which kind of tells it the default way that mods should be done and should be sorted. However, we're going to be adding a lot of additional mods, especially custom mods that are made to make all the different mods play nice together. So we need to make some groups in order to tell Loot where we want those things to go in the mod list. So we're going to click on Game, Edit Groups, and get started here. I'm going to copy this Village Mods because that's the first group we're going to create. So we will go to Game, Edit Groups. Now, these are all the default groups here. It starts from the main plugins and the Creation Club, and it goes all the way through to Dynamic LOD. Now, we are going to go to Alternative Start here. And we're going to paste the Village Mods name. We're going to add new group. And I'm just going to put Village Mods down here. Then I'm going to double click and hold. I'm going to double click Alternative Start and drag it to Village Mods. And now Village Mods has turned green. Now from here, we're going to create the next one, which is Trivial Smelters of Skyrim. And, you know, I don't want to type that out, so I'm just going to copy and paste that name into the group. We're going to add the new group here. We're going to double-click Village Mods and go to Trivial Smelters of Skyrim. Got it. Next one is we're going to connect Trivial Smelters of Skyrim to Follower Framework, which is right here. So double-click, drag, and now it's all turned black. And that's what you want to see. Our next one is going to be CCOR patches. And we're going to put it at the cell encounter zones. So right here. So we're going to paste, add new group, and then attach the group there, just like that. Okay, we're going to go with OWL. Add group. We'll double click. And don't worry about it being all straight and nice. We're going to fix this up later at the end to make it look pretty. All right, so we got OWL. Then we got Snazzy Patches. We're going to create that group. Then we got Merge Patches. We'll create that group. Turn green. And merge patches to sell water. Done. All right. Next group is going to be Lux. 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 We're going to create a group called Lux. Put it right here. We're going to attach that. Let's do that again. We're going to create cell weather and attach it to Lux. Good. We're going to create a new one called Lux Orbits. Lux Orbis. Lux Via. Good. And then Lux Via to Open City Skyrim. Okay. And then finally, we have NPC retextures. That's going to be attached to Khajiit Speak. So Khajiit Speak going down to NPC retextures. Then we're going to have consistency patches. And we'll attach that like that. Conflict resolution is the final group. Place that there. Attach it. And we're going to connect conflict resolution to leveled list modifiers. Verify all the newly added groups are showing as black. Press auto arrange groups to clean up the group connections. Press save to exit the interface. You can now close loop. All right, so we have one, 2, 3, and 4 different groups. All of them are black. The arrows are all pointing in the correct direction. And we're going to click auto arrange groups. And now you can see that it's kind of spread things out to make it more pretty, easy to read. And with that, we'll click save. And we'll exit out of loot. All right, loot's done. We're not going to touch that for a while. The next mod tool is called xEdit. xEdit is an essential tool that helps us with cleaning mods as well as creating some patches that we're going to need to make all the mods play nice with each other. xEdit is also often used interchangeably with the term SKSE, both in this guide and in forums or Discord channels you might see. It's called xEdit because the X in front of it is a placeholder for whatever game you're using it for. So FO4 would be for Fallout 4. SSE is for Skyrim Special Edition. So we're just going to call it xEdit, and we're referring to SSE edit. So we're going to download this file, version 4.1.5F. There we go, 4.1.5F. And we have the 7-zip file. We're going to download that. Okay. Once we've downloaded the file, extract the contents of the archive and rename the following. All right. So let's go ahead and extract that. So if we go to our downloads folder, we can see xEdit right here. I'm going to click on xEdit, show more options, 7-zip. I'm going to extract files. And we're going to extract files into that D drive, the mod tools folder that we installed loot and 7-zip in. So we'll press OK. And then we'll press OK again. All right. And if we go down to D drive, mod tools, xEdit, here it is. xEdit's right here. Okay. I'm going to push that over to the side. So we need to rename some of these files. So xdump is going to be SSE dump. So here's xdump, rename, get rid of the X, SSE. Okay. xdump 64 to SSE dump 64. Good. TES for the Elder Scrolls edit to SSE edit. I believe that's here. Okay. And the same thing with this last one. TES edit 64 to SSE edit 64. Good. Now we're going to copy and paste SSE edit 64. We're going to create a second version of it, and we're going to call it SSE edit quick auto clean. You don't have to copy the exe. It's automatically an exe file already. So we're going to copy, paste, rename. Whoops. That's wrong. Shoot. Okay. I accidentally opened that up. But we're just going to click rename, paste. Whoops. Looks like it didn't copy. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So that's renamed. Now, for native 4K monitors, SSE edit tends to get really, really small and hard to read. So we're going to change quickly the settings in one of these files so that we can actually read the buttons that are as it's open. So we're going to go to SSE edit 64. We're going to click on Properties. We're going to click the Compatibility tab. We're going to go to Change High DPI Settings. And then we're going to click and make sure that we have the Override High DPI Scaling Behavior. Scaling performed by system is selected. Okay? Okay. All right. So xEdit or SSE edit is now installed. And we're going to move on to the next program. So we have to install a couple of things to help with SSE edit. So Matter's xEdit patching framework. It is a scripting library that provides a variety of functions for the generation of patches. So we're going to click download. We're going to click code and download zip. Okay. Open this up, click code over here, download zip. There it is. All right. Once the downloaded, extract the contents of the edit scripts folder in the archive to the edit scripts folder found in the SSE edit main installation folder. So I can go to downloads, properties. Whoops. No, we go downloads, show more options, 7-zip, extract file. Open. I'm going to open the archive actually. All right, so this is the archive here. I'm going to open that up. The edit scripts folder. I'm going to select all of this. And I'm going to extract to Mod Tools, xEdit, Edit Scripts. So we should be extracting the contents of the Edit Scripts folder, including the lib folder, into the Edit Scripts folder in xEdit. Press OK. And then when we go to that folder, there's the lib document that we were looking at. And if we look for M, there we go. Here's the files that we just copied over as well. So everything is in there now, which is what we want. Close this out. That's done. Next is the Elder Scrolls V edit scripts. It's a bunch of useful xEdit scripts. So we're going to do the same thing again. I'm going to open it up. Code, download zip. Close those two pages out. I'm going to go to downloads. This is the file we just downloaded. And again, I'm going to go to 7-zip, open archive, edit scripts. And I'm going to copy all the things that are in that edit scripts folder and click extract. Go down to this PC, volume D, mod tools, xEdit, edit scripts. Six folders, 23 files. Click OK, and we've just extracted it in there. And again, we can take a look to make sure that that worked. And there's all the additional folders. So that worked as well. Close that out. All right, so we downloaded those scripts. We'll use those later. Wyco cleanup script. So this is a script that'll help clean up Windsong's immersive character overhaul. That's a mod that we'll be downloading. So we click on download. We are going to download version 2.5b. Once downloaded, extract the contents of the archive to the edit scripts folder found in the SSE main installation folder. He/she NPC record forwarding. This one right here. Okay. Manual download. Download. And that file is done downloading. So go to downloads. We can open the archive. We'll just extract it right here. Copy the contents. And we're going to paste it in the edit scripts folder. Yep. There we go. Okay, so we added that. That's done. Next is the Dark Face Issue Reporter. Now, this is a really essential script. One of the issues that you'll run into in Skyrim when you're installing mods is you'll run into faces that look dark. Everything else, like they might be a light-skinned character or NPC, but their faces are dark. And this will actually let us identify those issues before we ever even load the game. So we're going to download this. Dark Face Issue Reporter is the file we're downloading. Manual download. Download. And it's taking a minute to decide, and there we go. We have that downloaded now too. Close that out. We're going to put that in also in the edit scripts folder found in the SSE main installation folder. Okay, so for that one, I can do the same thing. I can go to the Dark Face. I can go to Show More Options. I can go to 7-zip, Open Archive, and copy these 3 items. We're going to extract. We're going to extract to Volume D, Mod Tools, xEdit, Edit Scripts. Okay, okay. And there's the Dark Face Issue Reporter library. All right, close that out. We have installed that. Next is Synthesis. So Synthesis is a framework and GUI to construct a single Bethesda game patch from many patcher sources. It's designed to allow any program to work as a patcher as long as it conforms to the CLI API. So we are going to download version 30.3. 30.3. We'll just download the zip file. 250 megabytes, so not a small program. And it's almost done. All right. Now this is a zip folder, but it contains a program. Let's take a look inside and see what we're dealing with here. So Open Archive. All right, looks like installation's not required, so I can just extract this. So I'm just going to extract it right here. Well, no. Let's see if this will work. So let's go to Volume D, Mod Tools. I'm going to extract, whoops. I'm going to extract into the Mod Tools folder. Click Extract. Okay, so it would appear that I made a slight mistake. So let me go ahead and I'm going to create a new folder. So what I should have done is I should have just extracted it in the downloads folder and then copied the synthesis folder over. But that's okay. Synthesis, and I'm going to take all these files. We're going to cut them. We're going to paste them. And then there's also this build host folder, build host folder. Okay. So synthesis is now in its own folder here. Yeah, just to be clear, what I should have done is I should have just clicked extract all to here, extract. And as you can see, it's got its own synthesis folder, and then I could have copied that straight over here. But no problem. We got it working okay. Okay. Synthesis is installed. We go to Lexy's LOTD synthesis profile. So this is the profile we're going to use with synthesis. Download. So extract the contents of the archive to where you installed synthesis. So this is Lexy's Wonderful House of Invaluable Patches. It's a page on the Nexus. We're going to be downloading a lot of mods from here. And the one that we're looking for right now is the synthesis. Here we go. Lexy's LOTD synthesis profile. Version 30.3. We're going to download it. All right, and that's done. So we will go ahead and extract the contents to where we installed synthesis. So downloads, Lexy's profile. Let's go to 7-zip, open archive. We'll take all these items and we are going to extract it to where we put synthesis. There we go. Okay. And it's downloaded there. Data. Yep, we're good. Cathedral Assets Optimizer. This is another program we're going to use. It's a tool aimed to automate asset conversion and optimization for Skyrim Special Edition. It basically optimizes texture files to make the game run faster. We're looking for version 5.3.15. Let's go ahead and download that. This is version 5.3.15. We will manually download this. So it would appear that Nexus is incredibly slow right now. So we're going to take a pause. And when we get back, this should be done. And maybe I can even fix my connection to Nexus. My internet speed is fine. So it's something having to do with my Nexus connection. We'll pause and then come right back. All right, so I figured out what the issues with my download speeds were, and I thought I would share this with you all in case you run into this situation and need a solution to this as well. So I was downloading these files from the Nexus at about 7 kilobytes a second, which is insanely slow. It would take me probably 2 years to download all the mods we need to download at those speeds. So I searched on the internet and I found a support article that said, I'm having download issues. What can I do? And it gave a link to test the speeds in your browser. So I clicked on that and it tested all of the speeds of all of their servers. And what I noticed was that the Los Angeles server was timing out. It was 0 megabits per second. Everything else was like 60 or 70 megabits per second. This one was practically 0. And as a premium member, you can swap servers at any time. And it just so happens that the closest server to me is Los Angeles. So I went into my account and I went to site preferences. And down here it shows under site preferences, preferred download location. And sure enough, wouldn't you know it, Los Angeles is my selection. So I'm going to click CDN. CDN tends to be the fastest download server available. So I'm going to click on that and hopefully it says that my changes have been saved. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close that. Now let's try this again. Cathedral Asset Optimizer 64, manual download. And look at that. Speeds, 4 megabits per second, not extremely fast, but fast enough certainly to download that program at least. All right, so we're going to close that out. The instructions are to just install the program. So let's install the program. Let's go to Downloads, Cathedral's Assets Optimizer. Let's open up the archive. All right, there's the exe. So we're going to extract. Whoops, we're gonna close this out, and we're going to show more options. Extract files, and we're going to extract it to I don't think that's going to work. Because again, this is not in a folder. So for this one, we're going to have to just click extract all into here. And then we're going to copy this folder. And then we're going to paste it in our mod tools folder. All right, there we go. And we have Cathedral Asset Optimizer all set up in here as well. All right, so that's done. We've got some profiles for Cathedral Assets Optimizer, so we'll download that. This is going to be Lexy's LOTD's CAO profiles. There we go. Here it is. Click manual download. Done. And once downloaded, extract the contents into the Cathedral's Assets Optimizer folder. So we'll go back to downloads. We'll go to Lexy's LOTD. And I'm going to sort so that it makes it easier to find. Show more options, 7-zip, open archive. I'm going to select profiles. And I'm going to extract this. To the CAO folder. Would I like to Yes. Yes. Yes to all. Okay. So I just replaced any of the files that were there with the files from Lexy's. Lexy's is going to be more up to date. And it didn't say anything about don't replace the information. So we're just going to go ahead and replace it. All right. So that's done. Let me just double check here. Yep. All right, good. All right, so now we have Rybash. Rybash is another frequently used tool that we're going to be using during the modding process. The functionality of this tool is to manage mods and create bashed patches. Bashed patches merge the leveled lists from installed mods and has some limited functionality to merge mods and tweak game values. So for this guide, we're only going to be using the bash to patch functionality. Leveled lists are the lists within the game that tell you what loot you get, as well as other lists of items in the game. And when you have like 5-10 different mods to adding new things to the game, you want to merge that into one list so that the game knows what drops from what mobs and only has to go to one place to find that. So when Windows 10 users, ensure that your OS has installed the Windows 10 1809 update or higher. This will ensure that Rybash is able to properly load, as the 1803 update creates a situation where we attempts to load itself, but it can't. I use Windows 11, so that's not a problem. Windows 10 users, when using Rybash, a docs folder will be generated and appear in your overwrite folder. This is not needed for Skyrim to run properly and can be safely deleted between sessions. Okay, so we're going to download the file manually, extract the contents of the file to a location of your choice. It's advised not to install it in any UAC controlled locations. It can be installed in the Skyrim main directly if you so choose with no detrimental effects. This is a tool. We're going to put it in a tool folder. So download. This is Rybash. We're going to do the installer, manually download. Cool. So here's the setup. Select the Elder Scroll where the Elder Scrolls game is. Okay, so we got that. Yeah, it's not finding any other games. No extra locations. Check the components you want to install and uncheck the components you don't want to install. Install. Next. Okay. So let's go check and see what that did. All right, there's Wirebash. Okay. Well, just remember that that's where it's installed. And then finally, the last tool that we're going to use is called xEdit. So we have xEdit here. xEdit is similar to SSEdit. It includes zmerge, which is used for merging plugins. exe folder file. It's almost downloaded. All right. So let's go to the downloads folders, xEdit setup. Okay. So this is not an installer. It's just the straight up program. Right? Interesting. It installs every time you use it. Okay. Well, good to know. So let's go ahead and cut. And then we'll go down to volume D. We'll go down to mod tools. We'll create a new folder. And we'll call this folder xEdit. And then we'll just paste that in there. And that'll work just fine. Okay. All right, that's done. So next section here is script extenders, where the real magic happens. So we have the SKSE, the Skyrim script extender, is absolutely essential. It extends the scripting capacity of the game to allow mods to do things that would not normally be possible in the base Skyrim engine, and many mods depend upon it. So what we're going to do is we're going to download version 2.2.6. version 2.2.6, and we're going to download the Skyrim script extender. Okay. Yep. I'll leave that up for a second. So what we're going to do, these are special instructions. Right now, we're going to install only the following files into the main Skyrim Special Edition directory. SKSE 64 blah 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 .dll and SKSE 64 loader.exe. So let's go to downloads, Skyrim script extender. We're going to open up the archive. This folder here and this one here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so those two here we're going to extract, and we're going to extract them to Steam Library, Common, Skyrim Special Edition. Let's just double check that they made it there. There we go. SKSE, SKSE. All right, those two pieces are done. We're going to come back to this later. I'm going to actually just kind of clear out and delete these to kind of clear out my downloads folder. And we're going to come back to this later to finish up the install of SKSE. But first, we need to do some other things. All right, BethINI. Skyrim's INI files made easy. BethINI Pi is a performance INI editor, and it's a universal tool to simplify editing INI configuration files via a graphical user interface. BethINI Pi updates frequently. Download the latest, most up-to-date version. Okay, good to know. 4.11 is the latest version. Go ahead and download it. It's a tool, so it's going to go in our tools folder. Let's take a look at what the archive shows us. Okay, good. So we can extract, this has an actual folder in it, so we can extract this right into, all right, so let's take that, and we're going to extract it to our tools folder. Mod tools. Okay, done. And when we go to mod tools, we should absolutely see, here we go. Mod tools, BethINI Pi, BethINI. All right, so that's done. Running BethINI. Okay. So we're going to run the BethINI Pi. If you're running BethINI Pi for the first time, a pop-up window asking you to select your game will appear. Select Skyrim Special Edition from the drop-down menu. If you're running BethINI Pi for the first time, another pop-up window should be asking you to set up. So game path, make sure this points to blank. And then INI path, make sure this points to blank. And once this is done, click OK. All right. So we don't need this. We also don't need this. BethINI. Choose game, Skyrim Special Edition. Select game. Game path is D, Special Edition. INI path is this, that's me. And restore backup. We don't want to restore the backup. Okay. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Doesn't matter. It's not really helping me. All right, so we're going to be creating an INI file here. So we're going to follow these instructions. So this will take a minute. So we're under the Basics tab right now. Press the Reset to Default button and wait until preset default applied message is displayed. Preset default applied. Done. All right, good. Click the High tab. Oh, click the High preset and wait until preset BethINI High applied message is displayed. Okay. Please avoid the temptation to click Ultra even if the PC is high end. All right, fair enough. We're going to click High. All right. So BethINI High is applied. Click the Apply Recommended Tweaks button and wait until it says recommended tweaks have been applied. Bingo, done. Okay, so resolution. This should be your system's native resolution. So that would be 3840 by 2400. Display mode is going to be borderless windowed. Default world FOV 85. Default FOV 85. Default first person FOV 85. 64-bit render targets ticked. VSync unticked. Lock frame rates unticked. Okay, good. Adjustments. Right here, this section. Bloom boost is going to be 5. Bloom boost is 5.0. Freebie scene ticked. Good. All right. Then the general tab. Saved games right here. Auto saves is unticked. Save on pause unticked. Save on travel unticked. Save on wait unticked. Save on rest unticked. Papyrus post load update time is 2000. Max allocated memory is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's correct. Sometimes it's hard to count multiple zeros in a row. Gameplay tab. NPCs use ammo ticked. Over encumbered reminder 300. And tutorials unticked. Okay. Interface tab. Bethesda modding platform unticked. Mod manager menu unticked. Environment tab. Grass density 60. All right, where's grass? Here it is. Density is 60, so we're going to get a lot of grass here. And diversity is 15. We want some, actually, that's high diversity. We're going to have very high diversity. This is DEI grass right here. Water reflect sky unticked. Water reflect sky unticked. Okay. Shadows tab. Ambient occlusion is unticked. And then we've got SAO bias should be 0.5. SAO XP factor should be 0.22. SAO intensity should be 12. And SAO radius 850. I honestly don't know what any of those things do. but I'm going to, guess what? Trust the guide. That's right. Visuals tab. The sun. All right, what are we going to do with the sun? Sun base size 200. Whoops, not 2300. That's going to burn everyone away. And then we got the sun glare size, which should be 282. Got it. And then effects, particles, 7500. Boom, there we go. Lens flare unticked. God, I hate lens flare. That's good. And then view distance tab. Distance details. Tree LOD 0. If you're not going to run Dino LOD Ultra Trees, leave this at the default. So we are going to run in my sim and my install Dino Load Ultra Trees. So I'm going to make it 0. Tree LOD distance. Right here. Oh, wow. We're changing it from that to 0. Once this is all done, click File, Save, and Save Changes. File, Save. Do you want to save? Yes. I want to save. Yes. And then I can close out BethINI INI. Yes. Okay. Post BethINI INI configuration changes. Caution, for non-English Windows installations, it's important that after making changes in BethINI INI that you add the line S language English in the general portion. Failure to do this will result in the game and all tools using the system default language. Ouch. Would create problems with patches, strings, and records in the plugins. Once Mod Organizer 2 is installed, the Skyrim INI, Skyrim Preferences INI, and Skyrim Custom INI files can be edited using the built-in INI editor in Mod Organizer 2. From the toolbar, click the tool icons and then select INI editor. Good. Mod Manager, accept no substitutes. So we're moving on to finally Mod Organizer 2. This is the core of the whole process. So this guide was written for and assumes the use of Mod Organizer 2 and its built-in plugins and functions. The use of any other mod management program is not supported by the guide, and while some users have had some success with using other programs, any such use will disqualify you from official support of the Discord server and my support as well. The paid version of CC Cleaner is known to break Mod Organizer 2's virtual filing system. Unchecking the Windows Event Logs option under CC Cleaner Advanced tab will help ensure this doesn't happen. I think that's an antivirus software, but I don't have that. If you have it, then that's not based. Okay, Mod Organizer 2. We're going to use version 2.5.0. Okay. Under old files, 2.5.0. Here we go. Version 2.5.0. Manually download. It's 135 megabytes. Not bad. Mod Organizer 2 must be installed in portable mode. This is to ensure that all tools used in the process work as intended. Do not install Mod Organizer 2 in the program files directory or your main Skyrim directory. Proper function of the program will not occur if the program is installed in either of those locations. Not a problem. Where are we going to install it? The Mod Tools folder. All right. Download is done. We're going to go ahead and Mod Organizer 2. Yes. Okay, select an installation location after install is complete. Run MO2. So let's install this first. Accept the agreement. We're going to put it down here in new volume D, mod tools. Oh, I should probably make a new folder and call it MO2. There we go. I'm just going to leave it as, you know, setup will create the program shortcuts in this following start menu folder. Sounds good. Create a desktop shortcut, most definitely. And then install. The reason I'm putting a shortcut in is that I just want to pin this to my start bar. And it's finishing up, wrapping up the installation. All right, let's go ahead and launch it. Okay, so at the create a new instance prompt, select create a new instance. Create a portable instance. In the following prompt, select Skyrim Special Edition. And then in the following prompt, select Steam. In the following prompt, select user profile specified game INI. Use profile specific game INI files and use profile specific save games. So all three should be checked. In the following prompt, make sure the location field matches the location where Mod Organizer 2 was installed. That is correct. D, Mod Tools ML2. In the following prompt, click oh, you know what? I should not have done that, I don't think. And the reason why I should not have linked it with Nexus is because we don't want it to automatically update mods. That's not good. So I'll have to unlink that and then click finish. You are starting Mod Organizer 2 for the first time. Do you want to show a tutorial? No. Please choose how to handle the default category setup. If you've already connected to Nexus, you can automatically input Nexus categories for the game. Otherwise, use the old Mod Organizer default category structure or leave it do nothing. The reason why is we're going to create categories for sorting our mods. So we do not want to input categories or import them or use category defaults. Do nothing. Mod Organizer 2 is not set up to handle NXM files. Link it. Yes. All right. So that's good. So let me first go to profiles. Nope. Go to settings, Nexus, disconnect from Nexus. All right. So I've disconnected from the Nexus. Restart Mod Organizer 2. Okay, good. Do not move the mods folder out of the mods organizer installation folder at any time. This location is hard coded into the program and allows Mod Organizer 2 to see the modifications you're installing. Do not move the profiles folder out of the Mod Organizer installation folder at any time. No problem. Okay, so now we're going to configure Mod Organizer 2. It's fully installed, but there's some additional configuration that will ensure that we integrate with Nexus and to provide additional levels of user comfort when installing the guide. So, to streamline and integrate Mod Organizer 2 fully with the Nexus, you'll require a Nexus account. So it looks like we do want to connect it to the Nexus. If you do not have one, you create one here. The account has no fees. In the toolbar of Mod Organizer 2, settings, click the Nexus tab, connect to Nexus. A new window will open in your browser. The Nexus will request permission to link Mod Organizer 2 with your Nexus account. So let's go ahead and redo that. Connect to Nexus. Authorize. Done. Linked successfully. Restart. Mod Organizer 2 themes. Some users may find the default theme of Mod Organizer 2 overly bright, harsh, or in some displeasing. This can be changed in the toolbar of Mod Organizer 2. Locate the settings button. So that's a screwdriver and a wrench. At the top of the window that appears theme, choose a theme. Dark, paper dark, or VS15 dark. Let's take a look. Theme. Dark. Okay. I think I'm digging that. Let me double check here. So we got VS15 dark, and we've got just dark. Ooh, I hate that. Hate that. Super hate that. Dracula. That's way too light. My eyes are burning. My eyes are already stressed. Nope. Night eyes. Oh my God, way too dark. Not gonna happen. Hate it, hate it, hate it. All right, well, looks like the only one that I really like is VS15 dark. Okay, we're sticking with this. This one's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to stick with this, okay? All right. Note that all full mod screenshots and guide are taken with the VS15 dark theme. Full mods may show checkboxes and radial checkboxes differently if you're using any other theme. So look at that. Lexy and I align 100% in what we like here. Good. The left and right panes of Mod Organizer 2 can be configured to display only fields that you want, need, or use. And this can be done by, in the left pane here, we can right-click any of the column headers and check content. This will show a graphical representation of certain file types included in a mod. You can mouse over the graphics for an expanded view with a legend. So let's click content there. Okay, so we've added content. The left pane will also show conflicts, which can be useful for a number of applications. By default, however, it does not compare loose files to those located in a BSA. Though it is not perfectly accurate yet, there's a setting that will allow this comparison. It can be enabled by, in the toolbar of Mod Organizer 2, locate the settings button. Okay, done. At the top of the window, do the workarounds tab. Under options, enable archive parsing experimental. Workarounds, enable archive parsings experimental. Okay. While not perfectly accurate, this will show conflicts with BSA archives in the conflicts column of the left pane. So basically, what this setting lets you do is it looks deeper in the files to see if there's conflicts, whereas with the default, it's not really looking particularly deep. And so this gives you a better view when there's conflicts between mods so that we can correct those conflicts. Finally, the ability to see meta information, human readable file names, and versions of download files can be invaluable in troubleshooting efforts. Additionally, by default, the download list has a lot of wasted space that can be compacted. So these two items can be enabled by, in the toolbar, locate the settings button. Got it. At the top of the window, press on the General tab. Under the Download List category, click Show Meta Information and Compact List. Showing meta information will show human-readable names of files, as well as the file versions in the Downloads tab of the right pane, and Compact List will get rid of unnecessary white space in the Download tab and will fit more files on the screen at once. And then press OK to close. Depending on your specific download practices, the downloads for the mods can be well over 100 gigabytes data. If you have installed MO2 onto a relatively small drive, you should consider changing the location. We have not. We've got over a terabyte where it's located, so we're good. Mod Organizer 2 profile creation. So profiles are a function of Mod Organizer 2 that allow multiple versions of a modded installation of Skyrim. We will be using it primarily assist in the creation of merged plugins later in the guide. The process of creating a new profile will be needed at that point, but we will create a base profile now to familiarize yourself with the required steps. So by default, Mod Organizer 2 uses a default profile. We will be creating a vanilla profile, which will be used to establish a working baseline and for troubleshooting purposes. So locate the Profiles button. Most Mod Organizer 2 themes show this in an icon that looks like an ID card. Configure profiles looks like a person. In the profile window, select Create. We're going to do one called Vanilla Skyrim SE. Ensure that the default game INI settings box is unchecked. Press OK. Verify that the Vanilla Sky appears in the list. Yes, it does. Verify user profiles. Yes, yes. Ensure that the profile window, exit the profile window by pressing close. In the profile drop-down above the mod list, right here, you can select Vanilla Sky SE. Locate and press the Configure Profiles button. Click Default. Click on Remove. We're going to remove the default profile and then close. And now Vanilla Sky SE is the only profile that's currently being used or installed. All right, so now we're going to integrate some of these tools that we have installed onto our computers into Mod Organizer 2. That way we can run them directly from Mod Organizer 2. Some of the programs will be automatically detected by Mod Organizer 2, and these include SKSE, Skyrim, the Skyrim launcher, and the Creation Kit. And these will appear in the Mod Organizer 2 launcher just above the right pane and are pre-configured. Loot may also be detected, but recent changes to the program may require you to create the executable. If this is the case, the below directions also apply to loot. So locate and press the executables button. So the executables button is going to be right here, the executables button. Okay. So we have SKSE, Skyrim, Skyrim Special Edition Launcher, Creation Kit, and Explorer Virtual Folder. So we're going to add an executable. We're going to add from a file, and we're going to navigate to SKSE-edit64.exe. So we're going to click Add an executable, Add from a file. We're going to navigate to Mod Tools, xEdit, and then SSE Edit 64, right? SSE Edit 64, and click Open. Ensure no optional checkboxes are checked. Select Apply. Okay, no optional checkboxes are checked. Select Apply. Okay. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add from a file, and we're going to do through this for auto clean. So SSE Edit Quick Auto Clean. Good. Click Apply. Repeat steps 1 through 6 for Rybash, Synthesis, xEdit, and Loot. Okay, so Rybash, that one is in Skyrim Special Edition under Mofi, Rybash. Open, Apply. Add from a file. We want Synthesis next. So let's go back to Mod Tools, Synthesis, Apply. We got a new one, which is xEdit and Loot. Okay, let's see if I can remember those two. xEdit and Loot. Now, no arguments are needed for Rybash, Synthesis, or Loot. For xEdit, we're going to type in this to the arguments. So we're going to go back to xEdit, and in arguments, we're just going to paste that in. Good. Apply. Okay. After all the programs have been added, click the OK button on the bottom right of the Modify Executable window. xEdit will create an xEdit cache folder in your override files in Mod Organizer 2. While not required, adding C, okay, will redirect these files to the xEdit folder you installed earlier. Alternatively, you can also make those a separate mod in Mod Organizer 2 and keep them activated. The cache is there to help speed up xEdit load times and has no effect on your game. Initial load order. So Skyrim SE will have automatically downloaded and installed the base game and the 7 official DLC files for Skyrim. Mod Organizer 2 will have detected these files, but will have them ordered alphabetically, which is not the desired load order. You'll also notice that under the category heading, they will all be listed as non-MO, including that these files are located in the Skyrim base directory, not MO2's mod system. These are the only files that should ever show this designation while installing the game. If you see this anywhere else, you have incorrectly installed a mod. So if we look, it says non-MO. It has Skyrim and has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So initial detection of the Skyrim DLC will place the assets in an incorrect order. So they should be sorted in order of release. So in the left pane, drag and drop the 7 DLC files into the following order from top to bottom. So we want Dawnguard, Hearthfire, Dragonborn. We want Fish, Survival Mode, Curios, ADV, and Resource Pack. Okay, good. So that's in the correct order. The load order of the Skyrim DLC plugins can be confirmed by loot. So from the drop-down executable list, select root and press run. So we are going to run loot. Okay, good. Once loot is finished loading, press the sort plugins button and click on it. They made no changes to the load order. Okay. It'll then compare it'll automatically download any updates to its master list. It'll then compare the files it sees, which is only the DLC at this point, to the master list file and sort them in a proper order. Additional messages will be displayed after sorting that indicate there are ITMs and deleted references. An explanation of these terms will happen later. Click Apply Sorted Load Order to accept loot's generated load order if loot made any changes. If they didn't make any changes, just press OK, and then close loot by using the X button at the top right corner. Loot is closed. This process has taught you 3 things. How to manually move elements of your load order around. We do that sometimes. Loading of loot via mod organizer. This same process applies to all the programs loaded via mod organizer 2 and will not be repeated in the other steps. And then sorting a load order using loot. So this will only be done once more in the guide near the end of the process. However, this process is universal to any mod list and can be applied in a lot of other circumstances as well. So the vanilla Skyrim SE profile is now properly set up. The profile should be kept for possible troubleshooting purposes, but otherwise left alone. Which means for now, we're going to create our Legacy of the Dragonborn Special Edition profile. So far we've installed and set up with all the related tools for a vanilla profile. You should also have the ability to load Skyrim SE with a single click, which will be useful for troubleshooting, but it isn't much good for playing a modded game. So the next thing is we're going to create a profile to use with all the mods. So using the directions we did earlier, we're going to create one called Legacy of the Dragonborn Special Edition. Okay. Verify used profile specific game INI files is checked. When you create a new profile, Mod Organizer creates new copies of the Skyrim INI and Skyrim Preferences INI for use by that profile and that profile only. If and when you make changes to these files through Mod Organizer 2, you'll be making changes to the profile specific version of these files, not the ones that are in your documents directory. Also verify that user profile specific save games is checked. So we're going to go to profiles. We're going to create a profile. We're going to call it that. Uncheck default game INI settings. User use profile specific save games, profile specific INI files. Okay, now notice that the reordering we did does not carry over in the left pane, so we need to drag and drop the 7 back into the same order we did before. So we can quickly do that. So we're going to have Dawnguard at top, Hearthfire, Dragonborn, and then we're going to put Fish, Survival Mode, Curios, ADV, and Resource Pack. Good. Verify that the base game DLC files are moved in the correct order shown above. Failure to do so result in unintended record overwrites and interactions. Okay. Now that we've done that, next thing is xEdit configuration. So for Mod Organizer 2, we're going to run SKSE and perform the following. So let's load up Mod Organizer 2, SKSE 64, click Run. We started the 64-bit version. The only reason to do 64-bit is if you're getting an out-of-memory error when using 32-bit. The 64-bit is generally faster and uses less memory. Yes, we want to continue. Click OK. Please read. This is Patreon. Okay, here we go. At the pop-up window, click OK to load the selected plugins. Wait for the plugins to load. All right, so we're going to click OK. And we have loaded them all up. Right-click on any plugin on the left side of the screen. From the plugin menu, navigate to Other Options. Other Options. Okay. And then uncheck Simple Records, Land, Navi, Nav, Cell, and World. Unchecked, press OK. And exit SKSE. Good. And then let me double check and make sure that worked. Yep, it worked. All right. Okay. So xEdit is configured. Now we're going to complete our SKSE installation. So you might recall that SKSE installation earlier, we only installed those 2 files directly to the Skyrim main directory. We did not install all of the folders that contain the scripting files. We're going to do that now to show how to install a mod from an archive, which will be a needed skill for a small number of mods we're going to install later. So we're going to ensure that the newly created legacy profile is selected. Okay. Legacy of the Dragonborn. It is selected. In the in the Mod Organizer 2 toolbar, locate and click on the Install Mod button. Good. And then we're going to navigate to the location of the SKSE file downloaded earlier. Okay. It'd be this one right here. Click Open. Now, in the next window that appears, if it's the first time you've seen this window, Mod Organizer 2 will give you a quick tutorial. Replace the text with SKSE scripts. Okay, so we're just going to call this, click OK. All right, so we're going to call this SKSE scripts, right? The SKSE archive is now set up for an automatic installation. In the file tree, navigate to and highlight the data folder inside the archive. Right click on data. So right click and select content direct set as data directory. So now it's turned green. We are good to go. In the right click menu, select data. This content looks valid. Select OK. A new entry should appear in the left pane with the name given it above and an empty checkbox next to it. This indicates that it has been installed but not activated. Activate the mod by clicking on the empty checkbox. This should be done for all mods as soon as you install them. Okay, so we have this here. This is a mod. Activate the mod. The mod is now activated. Fantastic. Okay. Also note that Mod Organizer 2 does not have a version number or a category set for this mod because it doesn't have any Nexus metadata. We will manually input this information in a later step. So with the script files now installed, we're going to create and configure SKSE for the install. So confirm that Windows file name extensions are visible. So we're going to go to File Explorer. We're going to go to the View tab, Show File Names and Extensions. There we go. Create the skse.ini file. So right click. So it says right click SKSE scripts in the Mod Organizer mod list. Click Open and Explore. Good. Create a new file folder called SKSE. Double click the new folder. Create and open a text file. So we're going to do a text document, and we're going to call it skse.ini. Okay, so this is skse.ini, and we should open it up. All right. Edit the SKSE INI. So paste the following in the SKSE INI file. You can do that with a text editor of your choice, but mine's be easiest with Notepad. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. File, save. And close. The clear invalid registration setting enables self-healing of rogue updating scripts and saves. That's very nice. And the other one setting allows higher resolution textures for war paints. All right, so now we want to test the installation of XKSE and make sure that the version of SKSE is correct and that it's recognizing SKSE correctly. So to do that, we're going to start Skyrim by using the SKSE executable in Mod Organizer 2. We're going to press the tilde key and we're going to type get SKSE version, press enter, and then make sure that it tells us the SKSE version. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to select SKSE. I'm going to click run. And it should load up Skyrim. Oh my gosh. Here we go. And then I'm going to press the tilde button. I already copied, so I can just click paste. And it's telling me that SKSE version 2.2.6, release ID 72, and the runtime. So this is good. All right. I'm going to quit. All right. Now, something to know is that the first time I tested that, it only showed me the top left corner of the screen. It was super blown up. And that had to do with my 4K monitor. Windows automatically rescales by 150% when you have 4K selected. So to fix that, what I did was I went into the Skyrim main folder, Skyrim Special Edition. I went here and found the SKSE 64 loader.exe. And then I went to the properties menu under compatibility. I clicked on change high DPI settings, and then I overrode high DPI scaling behavior, scaling performed by, and I selected application. And that ended up fixing the issue with the blown up screen. So if you do run into that, then that is your solution, just so you know. Do not continue past this point until you are certain SKSE is installed correctly. We have verified it. It is installed correctly. So now we're going to get some plugins for Mod Organizer 2 for the future. Future things that we're going to be using. The first one is the Merge Plugins Hide. This is a plugin for Mod Organizer 2 that lets you hide merge plugins easily. All right. So let's download this, version 1.2. We're going to download. Good. Okay. We're going to create a folder in the Mod Organizer 2 /plugins folder. New folder. We're going to call it Decoder Deorder Plugins. Good. We're going to go to Downloads, Mod Organizer 2, Show More Options, 7-zip, Open Archive. And we're going to extract all of this into that folder that we just created. So we're going to go to New Volume D, Mod Tools. We'll go to Mod Organizer 2, and well, that's weird. The folder isn't there. Okay, let's go back here for a second. Let's look at Mod Tools, Mod Organizer 2. Oh, because it's in the Profiles folder first. So Mod Organizer 2, and then we got to go to Profiles, Legacy of the Dragonborn. Nope, it's in the Plugins folder. Deorder Plugins. Okay, there we go. Took me a second to remember. All right. Navigate. So we're going to need to load Mod Organizer 2 and press the screwdriver and spanner icon. Navigate to the Plugins tab. It's not showing up. I might need to close out of Mod Organizer 2 and open it up again. Merge plugins hide. There we go. In the right-hand box, change hide type to optional. Okay. Must be all lowercase. Make sure the O in optional is lowercase. Press OK. Merge plugins hide is now set up, and we'll move merged plugins to the optional directory within Mod Organizer 2. It can be accessed via the puzzle icon within Mod Organizer 2. Okay. So, okay. And there's merge plugins hide. Boom. Mod Organizer 2 removal tool. It simplifies removing files from mods. It supports relative paths with wildcards like asterisks. So we'll download that next. That was fast. Okay. Extract the contents of the Mod Organizer 2 file removal tool to the plugins folder. I'm assuming it's the same plugins folder. Mod Organizer plugins. Yep. Okay. Show more options. 7-zip, open archive. Extract to nope, this PC. D, mod tools, Mod Organizer 2, plugins. All right. Close down and reopen. And now we have Mod Organizer 2 removal tool there as well underneath the puzzle tab, the puzzle icon for tools. If you need the space, you can also set the removal type to delete. This will permanently delete the selected files instead of hiding them. Deleting could save approximately 10 gigabytes. Though if you make a mistake and need the file, you will have to reinstall the entire mod. I'm just going to leave it. I'm not particularly worried about space. Okay, Mod Organizer 2 removal tool is done. Prepare merge. Mod Organizer 2 plugin. This plugin for Mod Organizer 2 finds and enables the mods containing a selected list of plugins and their required masters, and then places the selected plugins at the end of the load order. Used for preparing a merge of plugins with zmerge. Okay. Extract the contents into the plugins directory. No problem. File, download, download. Okay. Downloads, prepare merge. Open with 7-zip. And then we're going to extract this whole folder. Extract the contents of the archive. Yep. Extract the contents of the archive into this PC, new volume D, mod tools, Mod Organizer 2, plugins. Okay. I'm just going to put this on my toolbar since I'm using it so much. Prepare merge. It's there. All right, good. Prepare merge is done. Set CPU affinity for mod organizer. This plugin automatically calculates and sets the CPU affinity for Skyrim Priority SE SKSE plugin by Boring 3. Extract this one into the plugins as well. Okay. Good. Set CPU affinity. Okay. Extract to the same path. New volume D, mod tools, mod organizer 2, plugins. Okay. Okay. Close it down. Reopen it. Set CPU affinity. All right, done. All right. Well, it doesn't say for us to actually do it, so we're going to leave that for now. And we're going to move on to Bethesda ESM file maintenance. So before we start downloading any new mods, there's a little bit of cleanup we need to do to the base ESM plugin files. Bethesda's system of plugin creation can be a little finicky at times, and it's no surprise that there's some duplication of records and things of that nature. And so we are going to correct these things. So these unattended duplicates are referred to as identical to master records, or ITMs. They're most of the time groundbreaking, but they have unintended effects in a highly modified game. So usually they can be ignored, but in a heavily modified game like this one, we need to delete them. Another common and unwanted issue are deleted records. You would think that when you delete something in the creation kit, it would remove any references in the plugin files. Unfortunately, it does not. It just flags them instead. That's called a UDR. And this kind of error should always be repaired, as it can cause crashing errors. Both ITMs and UDRs exist in the Bethesda DLC plugins and need to be cleaned. But fortunately, we have tools to let us do that. So this process is universal for all mods that need cleaning. So if you have a mod later and it has special instructions that mention cleaning, this is the process we're going to follow. We're not going to detail this process later on in the guide. We're just going to follow this. So create a backup of the original files. So we're going to navigate to Skyrim Special Edition data. We're going to copy and paste these files to our desktop or other readily available location. Okay. So Skyrim Special Edition data. I'm going to kind of sort it by type so that it's easily gotten. I'm just going to create a folder in here. I'm going to call the folder backup backup ESMs. And I'm going to copy all these. And then I'm going to paste them. Beautiful. And that's it. I just created a backup. It can sit in there. It's not going to hurt anything to create an extra folder. We're going to clean the original files now that we have the backup, in case we mess up something. Start Mod Organizer 2. From the drop-down menu, select SKSE Quick Auto Clean. Run. Okay. In the file selection menu that appears, check the box next to Update ESM and No Other Files. If any additional files need loading, xEdit will automatically load them. Click OK. xEdit will now run the cleaning process automatically. Wait for the process to complete, indicated by appearance of the message Quick Clean Mode Finished. When the message appears, close xEdit by clicking the X. Run steps 2 through 8 for all of them. Dawnguard, Hearthfire, Dragonborn, Fish, Survival Mode, Curios, ADV, and Resource Pack. Okay. Do not attempt to clean Skyrim ESM. This will result in a corrupted file as it will be compared to itself and all records will be deleted. That would be bad. Okay. That would definitely be bad. All right. So we're only going to click update ESM. Press OK. And you can see that it's running through and it's progressing. So right here, it says quick clean mode finished and we're done. And we're going to exit out. Now we're going to do the same thing again for all the other ones. All right. So we're going to load this up again. This time we're going to click Dawn Guard. It automatically selected update.esm. That's okay. So we press OK. And we're going to let it go through this one now as well. All right. That one was much faster. Only took like 40 seconds, but it's done. So we're going to close out that. Okay. And then the next one, that should be Hearthfire. This one should be pretty small, quick to do. Yep. Quick clean mode finished. Open up again. This time we're going to do Dragonborn.esm. Good. Done. All right. Next, we're going to do fish. Notice how it's selected all of them. So it might take a little bit longer to do this one if it has to load everything up before it cleans it up. And no, it didn't. It was very fast. Quick clean mode finished. Next will be survival mode. Done. Next will be Curios. Done. Next will be ADV. Quick clean mode finished. Done. And finally, we're going to do the resource pack. Done. All right, all of them have been cleaned now. Do not attempt to clean Skyrim ESM. We already covered that. And then we have some manual xEdit cleaning we have to do. So the Dawn Guard ESM has to be treated slightly differently from the other ones because it has a small number of manual edits that also needs to be done. So we need to follow these directions very carefully. We don't want to delete something that we should not, which is one of the reasons why we have those backups that we created. So we're going to open up not the quick clean version, but the regular version of SSE edits. And in the plugin selection, right click, select none, and then click on Dawn Guard and click OK. So right click, select none, click Dawn Guard. It automatically selected the first two, and then click OK. Now it's going to load up the ESM. It's going to unpack it so that we can access all of this stuff. It's finished. Now, after all the plugins are fully loaded, click the plus symbol next to DawnGuard. Okay. So we're going to click the plus symbol next to DawnGuard. We're going to click the plus symbol next to Cell. We're going to click the plus symbol next to Block 5. We're going to click the plus symbol next to Cell Block 3. And then we're going to locate and click on 00016 BCF, which is in red. Red is probably bad, right? Now, the right pane, I'll move it over in a second, will display all records associated with the cell record. In the right pane, scroll down and locate xEZN subrecord that refers to the Riften Ratway zone. Right-click on the entry and select Remove. Okay, you only need to remove the Riften Ratway zone entry, not the entire record. All right, so let's take a look over here. We're going to scroll down. Here we go. Riften Ratway zone. All right, so under DawnGuard, right? This is where we want to click because we want to make sure that we're not deleting any other records. We're going to click, and we're going to click Remove. You're about to edit a module. It's going to make you wait to make absolutely sure. Yes, I'm absolutely sure. We've deleted the DawnGuard entry. That is good. All right. Follow the same process for block 2, subblock 1, and okay. So let's find block 2, subblock 1. Block 2, subblock 1. 4C CW guard templates. 4C and CW guard templates right here. Just double check. Oh, we're going to remove the entire record. Okay. So we only need to remove the entry on the first one, not the entire record. On this one, we're going to remove this entire record here. Okay. So I'm assuming we're going to right-click here or right-click here. Okay, I'm going to remove this. Done. And then the other thing we need to remove is block 8, subblock 1. Remove the entire subblock. Okay. Close xEdit and save by pressing the X in the program's title bar. Done. All right, we have cleaned all the ASMs. Now, with all the cleaning now completed, we need to make these cleaned files into their own separate modifications and restore the original files to the Skyrim directory. This is going to assist in future-proofing your clean files for the inevitable Bethesda CC updates that would overwrite your clean files with the original version. So in your Mod Organizer 2 mods folder, create a new folder called Cleaned Vanilla ESMs. Okay. Mod Organizer 2 mods. So we're going to go to Mod Organizer 2 and we're going to go to mods. And I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call the folder Cleaned Vanilla ESMs. In the Skyrim data folder, cut and paste the following files from the Skyrim data folder to the Mod Organizer 2 folder. Okay. Got it. So we're going to go to data. we're not including Skyrim, right? Okay, so make sure that when you do this, you do not include Skyrim in what you're removing from this. So I'm just going to click Shift and no Skyrim. And this includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is the correct number. Okay. I'm going to cut. I'm going to go to Mod Organizer 2, Mods, Clean Vanilla ESMs, Paste. Then you're going to go back to Skyrim Special Edition. We're going to go to Data. We're going to go to Backup ESMs. And we're going to cut and paste. Replace the file. Done. Okay. So now we have, I'm going to delete this folder. So now we have restored the ESMs, the original ones, to the Skyrim data folder. And in the Mod Organizer 2 mod that we just created, we have pasted all of the cleaned ESMs. Okay. So we made the mod. Start Mod Organizer 2 or refresh it. A new mod should appear called Clean Vanilla ESMs. Activate the new mod. So with this process complete, we are now able to run Skyrim through Steam, resulting in a completely vanilla experience. Run Skyrim through Mod Organizer 2's vanilla Skyrim profile using SKSE, the dropdown, resulting in a mostly vanilla experience. And run Skyrim, run Mod Organizer 2, Legacy the Dragonborn Special Edition profile using SKSE in the dropdown, resulting in an SKSE enabled Skyrim using cleaned vanilla assets. So from this point forward, unless otherwise noted, it'll be assumed that you always start Skyrim using the third option. All right, and we have activated the cleaned vanilla ESMs. All right, so our next section is level of detail generation. Even the stuff in the background is pretty. So we're going to be loading an additional tool, xLoadGen, and it's a utility used to generate LOD meshes and textures exactly like the creation kit. So it says to make sure we install xLoadGen outside of the main Skyrim and Mod Organize 2 mod folders, install whatever the latest version is available. So let's go ahead and click the download button. And this is the website to download it. And so we're going to download this xLoadGen beta 126. And we'll click download. All right, it is downloaded. Close it out. Doesn't look like there's, just want to double check that I got the right file version. Like that is the correct file version. Okay, we'll close out of this. There's a lot of data in here, but we don't need that because he's going to tell us what to do in the guide. Okay, so we got the xLoadGen. Download the latest version. Extract the contents to a new folder called xLoadGen, but do not put the folder inside the main Skyrim Special Edition or Mod Organizer 2 folder. Okay, so we'll make a tool for it. So we'll go to Mod Tools. Let's make a new folder. We'll call the folder xLoadGen. All right. And then we'll go up to downloads, open up the archives, see what's there. There is a folder there, xLoadGen. Okay. So we'll just take all this and we're going to extract it to folder that we just made. We didn't have to make that folder, but it doesn't hurt. It's named the same exact thing. Okay. Okay. All right. That's done. What's next? Create a folder called SSE Load Gen Output. Okay. I'll copy that. At the root of a drive. So for this is the root of a drive, right? It's the top level domain of a drive. This is case drive D. So I'm going to click new folder, paste the name of it, and now we have that name folder at the root of the drive. Once the above is done, open Mod Organizer 2 and add xloadgen64.exe as an executable. All right, so we're going to go to Tools. Wait. The gears. All right, so let's add from File, xLoadGen, LODGen64. xLODGen X64. Okay. This one. They look extremely similar to each other, but this one has Gen X. And then click apply. Okay. So I just noticed that the folder that I created is slightly named differently. So let me fix that. And then okay. All right. Once the above is done, open Mod Organizer 2 and add it. In the arguments field, add this. All right. So I'll copy that. Go back here, go to xLoadGen X64, and in the arguments field, I'll just paste that in there. Press OK. All right. Next is ACMOS Road Generator. This mod should not be installed via Mod Organizer 2. Install manually with the other tools. So Road Generator paints roads or paths with xLoadGen generated terrain LOD, giving you a perfect world map with roads that match your installed landscape mods. That's nice. All major world space mods are supported. We're going to download version 4.0. Once downloaded, add ACMOS Road Generator EXE as an executable. We're going to download. Okay. Oh, that looks nice. This gives a much better map than the vanilla map. Okay. We'll go to downloads. We're going to open up the archive here, see what we got inside. Whoops. All right. So this one is going to have to go inside of a folder because there's no top level folder. we're going to make a folder. New folder. Call it ACMS road generator. Okay. And we go back to downloads. Going to open archive. We will highlight everything in the archive. And we're going to extract it to that folder that we just created. All right, done. Once downloaded, add ACMOS road generator exe as an executable in Mod Organizer 2. So we go back to Mod Organizer 2, go to the gears, click the plus symbol, and we're going to go to this one right here. Click open, apply, okay. And there it is. There it is. All right. Dying to load. So Dying to Load 3 Alpha is a utility used to create a mod based on the load order, which adds custom distant LOD for objects to Skyrim. Basically, LOD is going to be when you look far away in the distance, you're going to be able to see more things like trees. So when we pre-generate these, what are called billboards and LOD, then we're able to see much further, and it actually generates in the trees, the grass, and that other stuff that we might not otherwise normally see. It updates frequently. Download the latest, most up-to-date version. Download the archive file, extract the contents to a new folder called Dying to Load Special Edition. Okay, so let me make those folders first this time. Go to New Volume D, Mod Tools, New Folder. DYNDOLOD. Dying to Load. Special. Special Edition. It's important that you spell these folders correctly, because in this case, it is going to be looking for this. They talk to each other. xLoadGen, Dying to Load, they talk to each other. Okay. So let's go ahead and download this. Oh, man. Looking good. All right, so that's done. And we'll go to downloads. Dying to Load. 7-zip, open archive. Now, yeah, see. Okay. We're going to extract. I'm going to extract into. There we go. So once we did that, open Mod Organizer 2 and add TextGen x64 and Dynode LOD x64 as executables. In the arguments field, add -SSE for each one. Okay. So click the gears, click the plus symbol, add from file. We're going to do Dying to Load Special Edition, TextGen64.exe. And in the arguments, we're going to add SSE. And then the second one, this one here. And we're going to add in the arguments SSE to that one as well. And it actually looks like those SSEs are uppercase. So let me just change that to make sure that, just in case that makes a difference. Okay. And then this one here. Okay, now they're all uppercase. Enable expert and level 32 modes in Dying to Load. So navigate to Dying to Load Special Edition, edit scripts, Dying to Load, and the SSE INI. There we go. All right. Use Control F, search for experts. Oh, do I need to really, how long is this? Oh shit, it is long. Okay. Control F, search for experts. That expert, what? To 1. Expert equals 1. Are there any more experts? Okay. Control F, search for level 32. Level 32 equals 1. Okay. Search for double-sided texture. Maybe double-sided texture mask. Replace the semicolon in front of this line. This uncomments the line, so it can affect LOD generation. It should now read double-sided texture mask equals mountain. Yep. Okay, so this one right here, we're just going to press backspace. We got rid of the semicolon, and so now it has double-sided texture mask equals mountain. Save and exit. File, save, and then exit. Okay, so xLoadGen and Dying to Load will not be used during the mod download process, but at a single time at the end of the guide as part of the finishing line. But we're installing them here to group them with the other tools. Now we have some plugin merge tools. So in this section, we're going to set up zmerge so we can create merged mods later on. So we're going to open xEdit and select zmerge from the top on the drop-down menu. So we'll go to zmerge, or xEdit rather. Oh, yeah, open xEdit. And from the drop-down menu, we're going to select zmerge. Press Start Session. Click on the cog in the upper right corner. A new pop-up box should appear. So Start Session. Cog in the upper right corner. Pop-up box. Okay, good. Navigate to Integration Settings. Under Mod Manager, select Mod Organizer 2. Under Mod Organizer 2 Instance, select Portable. Mod Organizer 2, Portable. Okay. Under Mod Manager Path, fill in the file path to your main Mod Organizer 2 folder. And for the mod manager mods path, fill in the path for the mods folder. Okay. The mod tools, MO2, mod. Okay. Then we're going to go to merge settings. Under merge output path, fill in the file path to where your mod organizer 2 mods folder is. Uncheck disable plugins. Okay. So under merge settings, mod tools, MO2 mods. That's good. Uncheck disable plugins. We're going to navigate to archive creation settings. Under advanced, change minimum files per archive to 999,999. Minimum files per archive. 999,999. Whoops. 999,999. 6 9s. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Under advanced, ensure create texture archives is unchecked. Done. Click OK. Close zmerge. Check these pictures on how to set up zmerge if you're having trouble. Oh, cool. So they've got some nice screenshots here that you can look at as well. All right, so now we need to install the ENB. The ENB is a graphics modification library designed to allow gamers to configure their games to their liking. So it pretty much opens up permissions for us to change the graphics settings in more extreme ways. So we're going to download the latest version of ENB. So the latest version of ENB is going to be version 502. Click that, scroll all the way down, and then you click download. At the bottom of the new page, click the first download link. Once the file's been downloaded, open the wrapper version folder and closed in the archive and extract only only these 2 files and place them in the main Skyrim Special Edition directory. Okay, so this is where these types of things is where it really helps to have 7-zip. So we're going to show more options and we're going to open the archive. Then it said go to the wrapper version folder and extract only d3d11.dll, d3d11.dll, and d3dcompiler.46e.dll. Only these 2 files. I'm going to take these and we're going to extract them into our common Skyrim Special Edition into the main Skyrim Special Edition directory. Okay. All right, so if we did that correctly, when we go to Skyrim Special Edition, we should see d3d11.dll and d3dcompiler_46.dll. 46e.dll. This 46 one we didn't do. Yep. We only did those 2. So the other one must have already been in there from something else we were doing. All right, we placed them in there and that's done. And then we have our presets. Now, the preset is like the foundation. There's a lot of different presets you can pick. Each preset has kind of a different theme. Some are darker themes, some are brighter themes, fantasy themes. For this one, we're going to do Relux, and it's designed to be done with cathedral weather. This one is designed code optimized to give the best possible quality without sacrificing performance. It supports night and predator vision and all vanilla effects, including real-time snow cover effects. Now, you can use other presets, but not in this guide, because we're going to be installing a lot of lighting mods that are designed to be worked with this ENB preset. But if you ever go off and install, your own mod series, there's a lot to choose from. So we're going to download version 2.2. All right, we can take a look at some of these pictures. So this is kind of what the color scheme looks like. Very nice. Oh, look at that. I am excited. Our Skyrim is actually going to look better than this because we got some better textures than the texture packs that are on here in particular. But yeah, the colors are really nice looking. I really like the rays of light and things. All right. So we go to Files. 0, full version. This is the one we want, version 2.2, manual download. All right. So that is done. And we're going to extract the contents of the 2.1 folder into the archive of the main Skyrim, in the archive to the main Skyrim directory. So here is Relux. We're going to open up with 7-zip the archive. And the contents here, we're just going to hold all the 3 of those. And we're going to extract, whoops. Yep. We're going to extract them to the main Skyrim directory. Right here. Okay. ENB series, just double check, make sure it's in there. ENB series. ENB series INI. Yep. Okay. So that's done. Now, this section here is the monitor setup. So do not skip this step. It's not going to directly affect your gameplay. It can make it a lot harder than it needs to be because it'll be a lot darker than it needs to be. The ENB was created by a graphical industry professional, and it will not look even halfway decent if these steps are not taken. Windows 11 users, make sure that Auto HDR feature of Windows 11 is disabled. Using this feature with Skyrim will cause color banding and will crush the blacks in your game. The vast majority of ENB setups will not have counted for this, and the result will be less than desirable. So this section here is going to explain the things you need to do to set up and calibrate your monitor. Now, what I'm going to say here is I recommend that you pause at this point and follow the directions for your particular monitor. So whether you have a HDMI cable connected to your monitor, you're going to need to make some adjustments. There's kind of like 3 different options here. So if you're using a non-HDR capable PC monitor, if you're using a non-HDR capable TV, or if you're using an HDR capable monitor or TV, it talks about what steps to go through. Now, because I'm working off a laptop, I had to do this step a little bit differently. And so the way that I did it is not the way that you would do that if you had a different device. So I would recommend pausing, read all the information here, and make sure that you can calibrate your monitor correctly. And remember, if you have any questions on how to calibrate and set up your monitor, you can always use the Lexy's LOTD Discord channel in order to post and ask questions and get support if something isn't working for you in regards to setting up your monitor. In any case, that brings us to the final piece here, which is antivirus settings. So Windows Defender and other antivirus software are known to interfere with many of the tools in this guide. And so it's strongly advised that we add some folder and process exclusions for all tools and for Mod Organizer 2, as well as the file type exclusion for NIF files. And this is the process below for Windows Defender. And if you use any other antivirus programs, you need to figure out the equivalent version of these instructions on your own. So I only use Windows Defender. The only other thing I use is Malwarebytes to scan my computer, but it doesn't monitor my computer. So Windows Defender is the only thing I use. And honestly, in this day and age, it's the only thing you need. So in the Windows search bar, we're going to search for virus and threat protection. Virus and threat protection right here. And then click Manage Settings right here. Virus and threat protection settings, click Manage Settings. Click the Add an Exclusion button. Add or remove exclusions down here at the bottom. For the drop-down menu, click Process. In the pop-up window under Process, add the file path to your exe you wish to exclude. So for example, dying to load x64 on my system would be this example right here. Okay. Now, if you want a quick way in order to get the file path, all you have to do is go here to your tool. So mod tools, dying to load x64. Gonna right click and click copy as path. When you come here, you can click paste, and there is your path right there. Okay. So this process right here is set. Now we're going to run through steps 4 through 6 for dying to load x64, TextGen x64, xLoadGen x64, Cathedral Assets Optimizer, and do the same for the copies of Text Convert 64 in 2 folders. Okay. So let's do the rest of these. So add an exclusion process. And we're going to go to TextGen 64, copy as path, paste, add. xLoadGen 64. xLoadGen x64, copy as path, add an exclusion, process, paste, add. Cathedral's Asset Optimizer. Cathedral's Asset Optimizer, copy as path, add an exclusion, process, paste, add. Do the same for copies of Text convert x64 exe in our dyne-to-load edit scripts and xloadgen edit scripts folders. Okay. So we're going to do dyne-to-load edit scripts xconvert x64, copy as path, add exclusion, process, paste, done. And then do the same thing in xloadgen edit scripts, text convert x64, copy as path, add exclusion, process, paste, add. Okay. Add a folder exclusion for your Mod Organizer 2 folder and your tools folders. It's the same steps as above, but choose folder instead of process. Okay. So folder. Okay. And you know what? I'm just gonna make an exclusion for that entire folder. So process, mod tools, mod organizer tool, both exceptions are there. And then add a file type exclusion for .nif. File type exclusion for .nif, add. .nif file type is excluded. All right. And with all those exclusions in place, we should be good to go. Let me X out of here. All right. So we've reached the end of this page with the installing of the companion tools. And as we click on the next page here, we are about to begin with mod installation part 1. And there are, as you can see, a lot of mods to download. And this is only page 1 of 6. So go ahead and take a break, grab a drink, and when we come back in our next video, we will be covering mod installation part 1. Thanks for watching.